Hi. Hello. Okay, so good morning. It's like probably the day right after Christmas. Um, so first thing I want to do is kind of address this comment that I've been getting hold on like half of my videos that comments are turned on. Um, and I see this comment on most of them that are like really popular. I've been getting on this one, my retro shop video, and also my collab video with Fawn and all these other like it's just crazy. Um, Unsubscribed from this creator, she invalidates abuse victims and plays her own victim card, throwing out she is autistic when she is really just in the wrong. DM for more. Yeah, so I'm not gonna let this slide because even if this was a few days ago, bitch, you better believe I know who the fuck this was. Um, why can't we just hate people like out far away from them like a normal person? Why do we have to like go out of our own way to like literally harass people and publicly slander them? Like that's actually crazy. That is actually insane. Like y'all know I'm not gonna let this shit slide. So I was like so confused on who the fuck this was. And then I'm like explaining this to my friend, right? Um, and I'm like, holy shit, wait, I know exactly who this is. So let me guys tell you something, okay? So this is on my this is on my VTuber account on Discord. This is all on Discord. This is all on Discord. Um, and yeah, there's gonna be some like there's probably gonna be like a lot of not a lot, but there's gonna be like some heavy topics mentioned. So I guess if you guys do come in the stream, and I don't know if you guys are watching this, I know it's gonna be zero right now. I know it's zero right now, but I know people like kind of watch live streams after they're already done. Um, this is just a quick rant and like some public awareness kind of thing. Um, I'm not a crazy person. I'm not gonna be like revealing these people's like usernames and stuff because even though they went out their own way to attack me, I'm not gonna be doing that. Um, so this essentially started off on Discord in a Discord server with it's like apparently it's like a Roblox gaming server about like a game named Baddies or something like that. I don't know, it's some stupid server. And hold on. Sorry. So um if you guys don't know who Edja is, I'm gonna call them ejaculation because I don't give a fuck. I'm joking actually. Because that would be so confusing. Okay, let me just call them Emily? Emily? That's another name that starts with E. That would make a lot more sense. Um so I was friends with this person. I think their name was like Mono or something like that. And basically, let me go back to this comment. Um basically what happened is that this Mono person was like attacking me and stuff, and they weren't attacking me. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Edja after all everything. My mind's getting pissed off. Okay, so sorry. I'm sorry. So basically, me and Mono were friends, right? They this started off with them like inviting me to like their Discord server. It's a whole thing. I'm not gonna really talk about the entire lore, but basically I got banned from the server And then, I joined their server because I'm like, you know what, like, why the hell not? Basically, I got banned for quote unquote promoting a server, end quote. And it's just stupid. And, well, what was it? Yeah. So it was just, I'm sorry. Whoa. Um, so I'm sorry. I'm like my brain is just kind of like bewildered from all this happening because like this is crazy. I'm like still in shock. So I was friends with Mono, and basically we were friends. I joined their server, and so I became friends with some of these people, and then some of yeah. So I became friends with some of these people, and then they like what was it? There was like some arguments happening in the server. I don't know if that was like I don't know if that was because of me joining. Like I have no idea what happened, but I know that I argued with Emily, the owner, because that's what we're gonna call them. Um I was arguing with Emily and this other person, I forgot their name, but like eventually it the arguments were misunderstandings and we both did apologize. And literally on my soul, I can literally confirm that Emily and this other person who I like talked to both literally admitted that they were both also in the wrong. And I think even Emily, I think like I don't know, I think either one of them said that they did escalate the situation. Sorry. Oops. Okay, let me just go back to this one. And then, like, what, like, three more other arguments started happening, but I was not involved with them, nor was I even mentioned. Like, two or three. I don't know. I had nothing to do with them. Just know that, okay? And so I was talking with Mono, and Mono was like, they're, like, deciding on, like, kicking you and stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like, Mono starts, saying that, like, yeah, they're gonna like ban you. How was it? They're gonna like they're saying that they're like giving you a warning or kicking you because you argued with this girl. I don't know. It was just some weird shit. Like it was weird because I argued with Emily first, and then after I argued with Emily, what was it? I argued with this other girl. I argued with this other girl, and basically these people. So she was telling me that these people were deciding on kicking me or not. 8 people. Whoa. She was basically deciding about these people kicking me or not because what was it? It was because like these people. So the the girl who I argued the sorry, the girl who I argued with. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous. There's so many people joining. Okay, so the girl who I argued with was really fucking mean. She was like really fucking bitchy, right? And I there was a shutdown happening because there was just so much arguing happening, And so I'm just like, yeah, you know what, like whatever, like fuck it, like right. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm gonna, DM this bitch. And then so I DM her, and then I'm like, but I don't go off on her or anything like that. I'm just like, you know what, you shut up, like fuck you, like I'm just like basically trying to get the last word, but I'm not like going anything like that, right? I'm not going that far. I'm just being like, yeah, no, fuck you. Um, and then yeah, so that's basically literally why they were like deciding to kick me or not, because well, I did so technically violated the rules, even though it literally said specifically in the rules in the server of the rules to not argue in the main channel, whatever the fuck that means. I'm taking that as take arguments outside the goddamn server. So I argued with her outside the goddamn server, and I blocked her and I moved the fuck on. She didn't even bring it up, and she was like, yeah, I'm over it now. What the fuck? She saw the DM and she got over it. She didn't tag me. She didn't do anything. She literally stopped the argument after she saw that I blocked her and then moved the fuck on. Move the fuck on. Why is it a big deal? Like, I don't get it. I argued, dude, this bitch is crazy. I literally argued with her in the server because she was being so mean to me. She was being so disrespectful. She was like telling me to shut up, um, because I was like trying to be nice, and she was just like being really aggressive with a question. It was just super fucking weird. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Like, fuck you. You're not gonna disrespect me like that. So like, come on now. And yeah, I didn't go after her. I literally dropped the argument right after that. Okay, just know that I literally dropped the argument. I moved the fuck on, and I did my fucking business. I was editing a video around this time too, so I didn't even have like time to be dealing with this. I mean, so what was it? I'm like, you know what? No, like that's not fair. Like, can you like tell them like this was like a whole misunderstanding or something like that because I moved on, blah blah. And then Mono kept saying, yeah, I know they're either gonna like, give you a warning or they're just gonna kick you. And I'm like, okay, well that's really not fair because she started this argument, so why not if you're gonna give me a warning, I literally said this. If you're gonna give me a warning, can you at least warn her? Like what the fuck? And so I'm making jokes saying that there's like it's like racism or something like that. Like it's obviously a fucking joke. And so like obviously I do not think that this was obviously I do not think like them making this decision was anything based on race. What I do think was racist, however, was Emily. Emily saying a weird comment because she brought up my race in an argument for no fucking weird no for no fucking reason. But let me start. Okay, there's 5 people. Okay, guys, please. I I swear I did not cause any of this shit, bro. I was just trying to get the last word. I was not trying to get any disrespect. I swear. I was just trying to be on about this peacefully. And I forgot what happened. Like it's like a memory block, but like I know that like I think I did end up talking with like Emily, the owner, about it or something like that. Um, and I remember like there was an argument where like there was what was it? There was an argument where sorry, I'm getting like a brain block. Ugh. Yeah. Alright, I gotta lock in. I'm sorry. Lock in, lock in. I haven't drank my coffee yet. That's why I went to the fridge for. I have like really bad diarrhea, so I gotta drink like very little sips of this as possible. Okay, lock in. So, I remember I was like trying to talk to her about this. Let me try seeing. Sorry, I'm trying to see. Okay, I see it. Okay. Yeah, so I texted Emily. Emily is Aya. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Um, and so yeah, so I confront Emily about this. I'm like, hey, are you really adamant deciding kicking me? And she said I never said this. I never said a decision myself. I'm just asking staff as a whole. And so, okay, I'm like, okay, um, but she started this argument from here. So like, why is there a whole debate about like getting me kicked? That's weird. And so basically, the context of this is that Snowflake Henna. So basically, this person. Hold on. Ah. Okay. So this person named Snowflake Henna. I can't fucking draw. Can you draw in here? Dude, I don't know if you can draw in here. Okay, that sucks. There's a person named Snowflake Henna, okay? And um Kenna said, I hate everybody here on God. And then Anita was like, why on God? Why on God? Why on God? Like, and then like you can see up from top messages, they're just like confused, like, what? Why on God? Like, it was just so fucking like obnoxious. Like, it was just so weird. So I'm like, hey, just probably hearing a perk, not saying no, not everyone. I mean, not everyone here is religious. We shouldn't force terms on everyone. Girl! Sorry, guys, I believe in God. Like, the thing is, too, like, I'm just confused. Like, I'm probably just as confused as Kenna is. And then Anita is like, you can see Anita giving me attitude and shit, right? Like, this just pissed me off so badly. But, like, I'm not gonna go off on her or anything like that, because I'm not. Like, that's just kind of weird. Like, why would I go off on someone for the way they're responding to me? Like, I would understand if it was in an episode or something like that, but, like, come on now. And even then, right, if it wasn't an episode, I think I wouldn't really be talking to anyone. I don't think anybody in an episode would be talking to anybody. I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. Let me shut up. Okay. Um. So you can see Anita's like being extremely obnoxious, and so I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, but like the way you're asking the questions coming up as confrontive, and it's like the way they asked it was so weird to me because that wasn't like a curious why on God. That was like, why would you say on God? Why would you say on God? Like it was like angry Christian polyamorous mother of six, like asking, like, like, like asking a non-religious person, like an atheist or something like that, like not believe in God. It's like your business is not your business. Is your business. Like it's just the way they asked was so weird. I'm not even trying to like, over exaggerate this. The way they asked it was so confrontive and so obnoxious. It was like it's similar to how most religious people confront atheists. And they're like, you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe in God. Well, like, come on, you see it, right? You see it, right? And it's like, and there's so many other different ways she could have asked, and the reason why she's asking this, like, the way she's asking this is like making Kenna like obviously uncomfortable, because like she doesn't have to answer your fucking question, and she keeps asking it, and it's just so weird. I always say it, mind you. If she had always said it, she said it twice. She said it twice. That's what's crazier. That's what's even crazier to me. Because if she has said it twice, then what do you think that says about Anita's character? Because, hold on. If Anita has seen this if Anita has been here before and she has talked with Kenna previously, she would have seen Kenna say this. Or, I don't know. Anita has seemed pretty active in the channel before me, so I don't know if she's joined after her or not. But let's say she's joined after her. Okay. You would still probably see Kenna use this phrase almost all the time in the chat. All the time. And if she was really curious about it, she could just search up on Google why. Or, right, she could ask in the confessions channel without sounding so confrontive. Because the way people do things a certain way, it's none of your business. It's really none of your business. Someone wants to say something, it's their business. It's not yours. If they have a reason to say it, then they have their fucking reason to say it. Like, they don't have to answer your question. They don't have to answer your question. Like, it's just, you see how obnoxious this is, right? You see like how obnoxious this is, right? Like, I'm not like blind or anything. Like, this is entirely obnoxious and so confrontive. So anyway, so I'm like, yeah, that's coming as confrontive. And then Anita was like, I'm not forcing her to be Christian. Because she replied to my other message saying, hey, like, you shouldn't refer terms to anyone. I never said she shouldn't force. I wasn't even talking about the term Christian. I was talking about not forcing her. Like, because what she was asking was like, why would you say on God? Why would you, like, that's exactly how it was coming off as. So my response in a public fucking Discord server that's being promoted in a fucking public group, in a fucking public channel, I'm like, I am obviously within my own right to respond, right? And so, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm like getting so heated because this is so stupid. Okay. When I said you shouldn't force terms on everyone, I was talking specifically about Kenna saying on God, because I thought she was asking this question in a controlling narrative, and rightfully so. She was being confrontive. And so I was saying it from a Christian standpoint. I was saying it from a stand view, right? Let me see what else. And so she chooses to completely somehow retwist my words into something else I did not say. And I'm like, I never claimed that you were forcing her to be a Christian. And then Anita was like, how about you just shut up? Okay. Still 4 people. Why aren't my comments turned on? Why can't I see any comments? I can't see nothing. I can't see shit. Wait, help. Wait, why can't I see anything? Why can't I see anything? Bro. I swear. I'm not schizophrenic, right? I just saw comments. Okay, whatever. I'll look them later. Oops. Anyway. That was on accident. Okay. So, then this is when Emily tells me that the staff members proposed the idea. And then I'm like, I'm not violating any rules, and it states that to not argue in the main server, which is why I took it in DMs. I'm not violating anything. I said my last word, I blocked to move on. This is where I think this is like where some part of my autism probably comes in, where I said it, because I'm taking the rules seriously. I'm taking the rules seriously as how it's stated, if that makes sense. I'm taking them as how they're stated. So if okay, for some reason, right, if a server rule says, don't argue in the main chat, but argue in a different channel in the server, I'm going to argue in a different channel in the server, but not argue in the main chat, because now if I argue in the main chat, I'll get a violation. That makes sense, right? Because you're arguing in the non-argumentative, you're arguing in the wrong argument channel, okay? And she was like, yeah, you technically started it. And I was like, why is this now a bigger issue? Because it was a public server. And I was like, I did not technically start it. I was commenting. Like, that makes no sense. How did I technically start anything in this at all? I was obviously being like polite and respectful. Me starting would have had me being like aggressive. Damn, almost 30 minutes in. Okay. Me starting it the argument would have obviously meant that I was being like hostile or aggressive towards Anita in the first place, which I was not. You can literally see here, I was not. If I was really hostile or aggressive towards her, I would have actually started it, and therefore I would have taken the ass beating that I got. But I didn't. I was just being nice. And so, to me, like, the way she phrased the question was like, it didn't seem like a question because she was just kind of enforcing it. Like, it was weird. So, if you're really asking a sincere question, you shouldn't force it. And then she starts fighting and saying, why did you say on God? How else would you word that? Mind you, she's deflecting the blame onto me and saying that that she asked the question. This is like this is like genuine gaslighting at its finest, at its peak even. At its peak. Cause oh yeah, this was 5 days ago. I'm just seeing it now. This was a day after everything. This was a day after this entire argument. Holy shit. This is hilarious. This was, yeah, okay. Yeah, so all the harassment that I've gotten from those comments was literally all on the same day. Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm just like realizing that, like, what the fuck. So anyway, I start actually having a phone debate with Emily, the owner, right? Like, you can literally see her defending Anita, right? Like, she's telling me to shut up in these screenshots when I've been nothing but respectful to her. And then she's like, why? And she's asking me how else I would word, how else would you word that? And I was like, hey, why did you choose to say on God? Simple. It's the same thing. It's not, because phrasing Always matters interpretations. I'm not saying, even though I know this, it's not an excuse. I was literally bringing this up to prove a fucking point. I was not bringing up autism to deflect from my. I hate you people. I hate you people. I hate you people. I hate you people so fucking much. You're so stupid. I was literally bringing up my autism as as a way to validate my point, to validate my argument. Because as autism is a developmental disability, right? So it's crazy how someone who has trouble with tones, has trouble like tone regulation and all of that. It's crazy to someone who like me, who has trouble with who has trouble with all these things, can even understand the difference between certain things and certain ways things are being said in a specific time and manner, compared to someone who isn't autistic and compared to someone who is neurotypical. That is crazy. That's why I was bringing that up, because most autistic people are invalidated for that. That is why I chose to bring that up. I wasn't trying to bring up my autism to deflect anything from my actions or from anything. I didn't even fucking do anything wrong. I blocked her and I moved on. What the fuck are you talking about? And I was literally saying it's not an excuse. Hence, me referring to both me bringing up my autism and me referring to the situation as a whole, because it's not an excuse. Sorry, let me calm down, because like this is like pissing me off so badly. I'm getting harassed by these people for no reason. I never said there's any relation for saying. I quite literally said, hey, you shouldn't force people with those terms. If she was asking a sincere question, she would have said, I'm asking it genuinely, and I would have backed off. Let me try finding some, like, questions to, like, word it as. A different way she could have reworded it, because I would have, like, if she was a bit nicer and she was like, hey, wow, I didn't realize it was coming as confrontive, how else can I reword that? I would have been like, hey, yeah, sure, of course, thank you for, stepping up and taking accountability. You could have reworded it as so-and-so and this. Simple as that. And then she could have privately DM'd her, and then it would have been better on from there, and she could have apologized for acting so fucking hostile and acting like a bitch. That's really it. This situation would have been handled so much more better if everyone in the server took accountability and stopped defending. Again, this literally her defending, by the way. After she said that she wasn't defending. Either way, the statement does not reflect forcing religion on anyone. She wasn't. Again, it was a question, was there not to get? What is there not to get with you? Because she wasn't asking a question the way you would ask a question if you were being genuinely sincere and were seeking for an answer. There's levels to this, bro. There's levels to this. So I'm like, she told me to shut up. She started it. She wasn't talking to you, though. It doesn't matter. It's a public server. Exactly. So why are you mad she replied back? Not mad she replied back. I'm mad she told me to shut up. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not gonna argue about this. Okay. So, apparently with, like, Anita telling me to kill myself or something like that, apparently that was, like, from her status, but and that was, like, way before the argument. Oh, shit. I'm gonna show my phone. Because I have a hard time believing these people and everything, like, I'm not gonna take their word that it was before the argument, because, like, that's within my every right, and also, how stupid do you have to be to, like, still keep that status up when you're arguing with somebody? Like, that does not make any sense. I'm obviously rightfully so gonna assume that it's about me, because that status is still there after argument. Hence, I'm gonna think it's forwarded to me. I'm gonna think it's aimed at me. Apparently, Emily, sorry. I gotta start pronouncing her name. Okay, Emily, said that she left the group chat or something like that because she thought like I was asking her what was wrong with her or something like that. When really I was asking her what she was talking about. It was completely two different sentences, okay? So, um, eventually Emily keeps like on harassing me and everything, and she keeps adding me to, I keep getting added to group chats with her, and she keeps like insulting me, and then she brought up my autism one time, and I left the group chats. I never really saved the receipts because I really did not care. Um, maybe I did save it. I can try looking through my thing, but let me scroll up to when we were talking about the allegations with her and her boyfriend. Um, I'm not gonna play the 2 minute voice message because I don't want to. And um, basically, this was a whole thing where I thought someone was like supporting Melanie. They literally are. And I was trying to explain myself that if you're gonna take away the art from the artist, because that's what that person said they were doing was, like, you should not show your public support for them because people are gonna rightfully so think that, you know, you're supporting Melanie or you're supporting an artist. And that's not a thing you should get mad at them for, because again, that's a decision you choose to make. You're if you're going to show your public support for a celebrity, people, like, no matter who is problematic, people are going to think you support them. It's common fucking knowledge, I fear. Anyway, this is a whole ass thing. So, I was even being fucking nice. I was even being nice, sorry. It sounded like I was saying I wasn't even being nice. I was being nice. I was being so nice that I thought this misunderstanding was totally wrong of me, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I feel bad about this. I feel bad about the way I treated this situation as to what so I'm gonna, what was it? Yeah, I'm gonna I want a group chat. I want to apologize to this person, blah, 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 yada, yada. And, like, you can tell, like, even through this misunderstanding, I was trying so hard to just be, like, really nice and respectful. And yeah. And so, this confrontation was after, sorry, I'm, like, getting a lisp. So this conversation was after, hold on. Sorry. My lips are really chappy. So this confrontation was after, it was after, the whole confession thing where I was trying to call her out for, like, doing all that. Where I was trying to call her out. Sorry, I was trying to call her out for, like, admitting to hitting her boyfriend. And so I was like, yeah, so I tried to, do that because you tried to delete your message when I called you out for abuse, and it was weird. You're right, I don't know the full story, but why admit something like that out of context? I didn't delete my message, I forwarded it to you if you looked. You didn't. You didn't. I don't get notifications and threads, and I don't have my notifications turned on. If you saw me looking through these, and you saw me, rightfully so, calling you out through these small confessions. You could have DM'd me right before I tried to, get you, right before I tried to, what was it? Right before I tried to. Dude, my stomach hurts so fucking badly. Sorry, my stomach has been hurting this entire stream. Even before the stream, and it's getting, like, worse now. Because I drank coffee. With, like, explosive diarrhea. Sorry. I'm, like, being, like, TMI about this because it hurts so bad. Okay. My head hurts. Okay. Yeah. Um, I was basically trying to say, though, she could have messaged me if she knew I was trying to ask her a question. I'm getting so irritated looking at this. Well, why would I share my entire relationship's problem with a bunch of randoms? Why would you bring up your relationship in the fucking first place and not have people question about it? The fuck? You're the one who fucking admitted it was you stupid hoe. I sorry. 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 And that's still not the question I asked. Why are you name dropping in something that's anonymous? That's a complete invasion of privacy, and even if I was a bad person situation, it doesn't affect you guys at all whatsoever. It does. Because I'm a victim of abuse. And, you know, like, that's such a dick thing to do. You have absolutely no right to just say flat out that you hit your boyfriend so hard that your nails popped off, and then try to downplay it as it's my relationship. I don't have to tell you guys anything. This is online. Yada yada yada. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, it does. Like, also even just casually admitting to abuse, like in a server with your friends, like that would affect your friends. Like you're obviously gonna lose some friends in the process. Even if I didn't delete it, it would still be anonymous. Even then, you admitted it was you. You literally said, yeah, by the way, this confession was me, guys. What are you talking about? You admitted it was you, and I was like, what the fuck? At least I can, at least I can say I can admit my wrongs and tell the truth about the situation. But that doesn't give you right to try and expose me for it. No shame in my game, baby. Yeah, so they're literally saying that they have no shame for what they did. For all you know, he's been hitting me the entire relationship. So I see this, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe my presumptions were wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have, tried to expose this person. Maybe, or not expose them, but call them out. Because I didn't think about it that way. Mind you, this is tier 1 guilt tripping at its best. Because now, not only did you just admit that he did not hate you throughout the entire relationship, but you're trying to give off the scenario that he did, which is leading me to a false sense of feeling sorry for you and shit. Like, that is absolutely insane. I'm not trying to suggest that at all. What I'm trying to get is, why share anything about your partner at all if you're going to talk about it, if you're going to talk about the bad aspects of it. People are going to ask what happened or get skeptical. That's human nature, because that's pretty alarming. You can't expect people to question it. Like, even in, like, it's so alarming to see someone say, yeah, I slapped my boyfriend. That's absolutely crazy. It is. Literally gave an answer. I literally said, yeah, I name dropped because I thought it was weird. You're trying to be low key about what happened. I slapped my boyfriend, and my immediate reaction is to ask either what happened or call someone out. And if I and let me clarify further on this. If I don't know enough information, I'm probably gonna call you out, um, because you can't just admit something like that publicly and then not. And especially the way she like talked about it too, she was bragging about it. So like, I'm like, that's really fucking weird. Like, I would, I'm obviously gonna call you out for that. But if it's like in a more of like, yeah, I did this, in more of a more apologetic, sincere way, I would probably just ask you what happened and try, comfort you or something. Not comfort you in a way that, he didn't hate you or anything like that, but like, if it was a life or death situation where there's something else happening, like, I would have felt bad and I would have, like, tried comforting because now there's more to the story. When I was like, hey, that's not okay, you gave me a distinct response and was just like, you don't know the full story. Like, kind of accusatory in a way, you know what I mean? Then I see the responses getting deleted. So as I was abused, both domestic and verbally since a young age, out of sympathy, I'm going to call you out because I thought that was a really strange and not okay behavior. And yeah, someone was like calling her a girl boss. It was so fucking weird. And she's trying to defend this, and then I'm like, yeah, you're not taking a tone to fault. You're admitting what happened, but that's not taking accountability. That's not taking accountability. Taking accountability is taking wrong for your actions, not bragging about something horrible you did just to get like a good couple of praises out of it. Like, that's weird. And if that is true, I'm very, very sorry that happened to you, but you hitting him back is giving him evidence against you if there's ever a case in the future. For all anyone knows, you both could be charged with domestic assault, and either way, you'd be just as bad as him. Like, it's like, it's like the method of, like, grooming your groomer. Like, yes, people actually do this. People literally groom their own groomers. What I'm gonna say to that is that you're also a groomer. You are not doing anything better. Like, you are literally just as bad as him, or them, or her. Like, you're literally just, sorry. You are literally just as bad as your groomer if you're going to groom them back. That's weird. Vice versa. Vice versa, if it's abuse, if it's, RAPE, if it's literally anything that involves, like, horrible, like, you know, um, anything like, or like horrible crime, something similar like that. If you harass someone and they harass you, like, you're just as bad as that person because you chose to harass them. And speaking out from a place of sympathy because I can understand the frustration. But from what you wrote in the confession, it did not seem like self-defense. Thank you. I do see your side, but it's just a lot. He has not hit me before. I see this and I'm like, what the fuck? Mind you, she herself has said that he did not hit her before. It was in the middle of an argument, and she did this allegedly because, oh, it was reactive abuse. Which, by the way, let me just say, as a victim of domestic abuse, um, yes, that is a real thing. But it does not count if it's verbal arguments. That's what I'll say, okay? If you're gonna, it does not make any sense to not verbally, sorry. It does not make any sense to physically hit your partner more than once, which, by the way, is not a because as far as I know, reactive abuse is a subconscious thing, an unconscious thing that you just do. Um, because it's deemed as like, let me shut up. I'm not good at explaining. Let me just say from what I think, right, as a person who has been through abuse. Physically hitting your partner from arguing is not reactive abuse. Reactive abuse is mimicking actions that your partner has done to you that you do back as a way of coping with your abuser. That's literally it. He hasn't hit you before. He hasn't done this before. You know what? If this person can say I'm invalidating their trauma, fuck yeah. You know what? Fuck you. Your trauma is invalid. Fuck you. Your trauma is not valid. If you're gonna be like hitting your fucking boyfriend and being a fucking domestic little abuser piece of shit, yeah, fuck you. You're like, it's not valid at all. You're just as bad as your boyfriend. If not worse, because you put your hands on him. You're a fucking psycho. You're a fucking psycho. That's like actually crazy. And it's the fact that you guys broke up too. I'm sorry. The fact that you guys broke up too, thinking that was better for each other, the entire time, you literally could have just communicated your feelings with him before you had to do all of that. This seems more like a toxic relationship more than anything to me. I don't know the full story, but that's just what I'll just say for now, cuz I don't know what else happened in a relationship. But I don't want to be making any assumptions. Okay? Just know that is what that is. And also, my autism here has never been brought up. Hold on. Why isn't... Okay, the A isn't working. Okay, my keyboard isn't working. But you see, like, I never brought up my autism in this at all. What does my autism have to do with anything about this? That's what I'm confused about. So, so I told this to someone who was a friend of Emily's. I don't know who this person is. I forgot their name. We're just calling Unicorn. How? Dude, my dog keeps kicking me. It, like, actually hurts. Okay. So... What was it? My mind's blank. Okay. So I was like, hey, by the way, Emily hit her boyfriend. And after that, like, I kind of got, like, unfriended by this person. And then, so I sent these messages after, Emily kept like attacking me and was trying to get the last word in group chats by harassing me and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want to stop arguing. This is really stressful. You guys can read all this if you want. Okay, this is like, why can't I make this smaller? Okay. Okay. You guys can read it from here if you want to. I don't know. Or pause live stream or something, but we're gonna move on to class now, okay, guys? So I confronted him about this, and yeah. So essentially, that's what this whole thing is about. Um, I'll make a part 2 if necessary, but I really don't feel like doing it. I'm tired. And yeah, okay. Um, I don't know how to check or read like comments on here. I'm sorry, like this is weird. These like are not popping up for anything.